Welcome to the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness. Yes, Middle-earth friends, welcome back to the third night of the madness, otherwise known as the Third Age Throwdown. I am the Madness Maestro. Good to have you guys back. Good to be back. We're here for another night of streaming fights between familiar Third Age, in this case, Middle-earth characters. All right, so what do we got going on so far? Glad you asked. We have a bracket again. First time joining us? Check this out. So new this year, we have a bracket that you, the user, the player, can fill out. So think, ESPN March Madness style bracket competition, but with Lord of the Rings characters. So that's basically what we're doing. It's not too late, by the way. Jump in. Put your bracket to the test against, not mine, because I'm Switzerland, I'm moderating, but a lot of our founders are in the competition. It's free for everyone. So we wanted to launch this, as accessibly as possible for everyone. So it's not too late. Get going, get after it, get a bracket in on the action. So you'll go to middleearthmadness.com. Upper right, you'll see bracket tracker. Follow the instructions there. And just fill out your bracket. So several of these fights have already happened, but we're not really counting the play-in round for points. So again, there is still time. Go make a bracket, man. It's a lot of fun. What are we doing tonight? Well, if we scroll down our bracket here, we are doing the 5-6 matchups in the bottom half of the bracket. So that'll be El Rohir against Gwaihir, 5 seed against 6 seed there. And then scrolling down a little further, our last 5 against 6 seed play-in fight is going to be Dane Ironfoot against the Barrow White. Nice little 5-6 there. We will also be doing the 7 and 8 matchups, 7 seed against 8 seed matchups in that bottom half of the bracket as well. So Bolg against Legolas should be a good one. They fought in one of those movies, I believe. Not really in the books. Cool fight nonetheless. Pretty evenly matched characters. That's the whole point of the play-in style tournament is you get evenly matched characters right off the bat in the first round. So that's how we've designed this tournament of 48 characters for Third Age Throwdown. Stay tuned. Throughout the year, we'll have different tournament formats. The next one, I believe, or don't quote me on that. If it's not the summertime one, it'll be the fall one. Big old 64 character bracket, all 3 ages of Middle-earth. It's epic. So, but this one, 48 characters with the play-in round, and our last fight tonight is going to be, which one am I missing? Landroval against Faramir. So Giant Eagle against Ranger of Gondor. Oh, but they never fought in the stories, and they would never fight because they're both good guys or they're both bad. Doesn't matter. Everyone fights. What's the first rule of Fight Club? Well, you don't talk about Fight Club. But one of the other rules is everyone fights. Pretty sure. I have to watch that one again, but it's definitely true around here. Everyone's going to fight. So those are our fights for tonight. I will be joined by more of the boys here in a little while, but we are going to get rolling right away here. First fight of the night. El Rohir. So who's El Rohir? If you're new to the stories, this is one of the guys that was not in the movie. So if you're a movie fan, as we all are, he was unfortunately omitted from the movies. El Rohir is one of the 2 sons of Elrond of Rivendell, who you will know from the movies and really all versions of all movies and stories. El Rohir has a twin named Elladan. He's already fought, and he was slain, actually, by Glowing, Gimli's dad, in last night's fights. Elro here is the surviving twin in our tournament. So what did they do in the stories? These two twin sons of Elrond. Well, most notably, first in the Fellowship of the Ring, kind of before, well, not really before, but between when Bilbo's birthday party, his 111st birthday party, and going away parties that ended up being. To make a long story short, these were part of the Dunedain Rangers of the North that worked with Aragorn and the other Rangers to safeguard the Shire. Down at Sarnford, they had a Ranger sort of, I guess you call it a hideout. We don't really know, but behind the scenes, I think it's really cool to think about these Rangers looking out for all of the hobbits in the Shire, and even mixed villages like Bree, where men were there, dwarves were there, hobbits were there, and really all of wait for it, Region, I think is the name of kind of that northwest area of Middle Earth that used to be Arnor. Of course, the Dunedain originally inhabited Arnor as the northern kingdom of the Númenóreans, and of course that the Witch King decimated pretty much the whole north and destroyed Arnor, sacked Weathertop, took Fornos, their capital, and so all of that ends up, incidentally, we'll see later tonight, the Barrow-wight that we read about, where Tom Bombadil rescues the hobbits from basically this undead being inside a standing stone, inside a rune stone. Very cool scene that also didn't make the movies, right? Those Barrow-wights also came from the destruction of Arnor. So I'm all over the place a little bit, but that's part of the fun, right? Lordor-wise, Elro here was a Dunedain Ranger that safeguarded the Shire. Fast forward to the action in the second and third book. Elro here was a member of the Grey Company who met up with Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli down in Rohan, and then took the paths of the dead. So we did see that in the extended scenes of the what was that, the third movie? Yeah, so Return of the King extended edition. You'll remember they found the King of the Dead, I think they called him, down there in Dunharrow, behind Dunharrow in the paths of the dead. Elro here was with him. So this guy was a really cool character, kind of more so in the books, right? Him and his twin. And then, of course, they fought at the Battle of Pelagir, took the black ships with the dead men. Excuse me, in the books, actually, they used the dead men of Dunharrow. They fulfilled their oaths in that Battle of Pelagir. They didn't ever go to Minas Tirith, right? So in the movies they did, and you got all those green things like fire ants going through the city and purging it of all the bad guys, right? But in the books, and in the true version of the story that, by the way, all these characters in Middle-earth Madness are based off of, these are all book versions of the characters that we're talking about here with battle stats and everything. Yeah, that's what Elro here did with the Grey Company and the Dead Men of Dunharrow. They got those black ships liberated from the Corsairs of Umbar, part of the Southron contingency, and of course went up to Gondor to help save the day. So Elro here, how do you do in the regular season? 29. Look at the record here in gold at the top of the card. 29-23. We're not talking about a standout record, but that's why he's a 5 seed. As we welcome to the action. Chris? I can see you, but Elro here's the way. There you are. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
I can, and I can kind of see you. It's a little dark.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in my vehicle. Sorry.
Nice. Yeah, we're just
How's it going?
About to kick off the first fight. We're talking Lordor of Elro here. So yeah, we've got the card on the screen here. Some nice key wins. I mean, he took out Saruman. He took out the Witch King. Elrond, his dad, weird, and Beowulf. Right, so as we repeat every night for those who haven't seen the action yet, what we call the regular season, to give us this data set, everyone fights everyone. It's a round robin style deal, and so So we just show you kind of their best wins and their worst losses. So on the bad side for Elro here, and part of the reason he's a 5 seed, he lost to Meri, he lost to Gorbag, he lost to Frodo, and Imrahil. So these are all less powerful characters than him, although, no shame in losing to Imrahil, pretty even there. But 2 hobbits and not exactly powered up orc. So some bad losses and 23, average losses there too. So he ends up being a 5 seed. Chucky, any thoughts on Elro here? You like that guy?
Yeah, I do, of course, but I don't like him in this fight.
Yeah, fair enough. I would say in our interpretation, Middle Earth Madness, he's the less emo of the Elrond twins.
Yeah.
But his brother's already dead, so your boy took him out last night.
Sorry, who? Boromir?
Glowing.
Oh, glowing. Yeah. All right.
Took out Elladan.
Yep. Love it.
So
that's how I picked it, and I have Guahir in this one.
Yeah. So in your bracket, just incidentally, I don't know. I can hear you okay, but you're a little quiet and there's an echo. So I know you're doing your best in your car, but
okay. Sorry.
Just FYI. I think we're good. So Guahir, the Wind Lord, Lord of Eagles. This guy, just a quick look at his stats will tell you. Look at the offensive stats compared to the defensive stats. Both Eagles in this tournament, there's 3 Eagles overall, but one of Thorondor is from the first age, so he's not in this field. And this is third age characters, right? But Guahir and his brother Landroval are both in this field. Landroval will fight later tonight as well. Eagles are tanks on offense, right? That's kind of what they are. On defense, not so much, right? So they're I wouldn't say their defense is horrible, but it's not strong. Basically, they rely on their elusiveness. If you look at that 95 number there, they're some of the most elusive characters in the game. Obviously, right? They can fly, right? They're some of the few characters that fly, and they're able to dodge. They're very difficult to engage. And if we take just a quick look at our battle flow, I don't want to belabor this, but to show folks how this kind of works in the battle engine, if you can't engage someone, then you can't hit them. If you can't hit them, you can't wound them. And if you can't wound them, you can't, on the right of your screen there with those explosion-looking things, you can't inflict damage upon them, obviously, right? So the way you win the fight is obviously inflicting damage. If you can't hit the dadgum guy, like in Guahir's case, 95 elusiveness, he's going to be difficult to hit, right? However, it's an interesting fight because Elrohir, being in half-elf, has a decent ranged attack, right? I wouldn't say it's stellar. It's definitely not stellar. Look, 58 and 62. But really how these range attack works, he has a bow. He can use it. His accuracy is not as good as most elves. But 62 piercing actually isn't bad when we're talking about ranged attacks. So it'll be interesting to see when he elects to use that ranged attack versus his more powerful sword attack against Guahir. It's hard to hit an eagle with a sword. Not impossible, though. Guahir, he wins. Dude, he took out Sauron. He took out Smaug. Took out Glorfindel. we're talking 1s and 2 seeds there. And the Witch King. So, eagles, giant eagles are tanks on offense. They have to, but look at his record. 27 and 25, he's a 6 seed. Why? He got taken out by Gollum, Theoden, Bard, and Bali. So he's a defensive liability a little bit. 28 armor, some of the worst armor in the game. Only mediocre toughness, valor, right? Those are your defensive stats that come into play. So while I queue up the fight, Chucky, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I kind of alluded to it, but I think Guahir has it. I don't know. I just like the elusiveness aspect, but we'll see. It should be another close one.
Yep. All right. Without further ado, let us fight. First fight of the night, as I bring up the screen here. Battle Engine. We've got Wahir against Elro here. Shall we fight?
Yes.
Yes. First attack 2. Oh, the bow attack by Elro here hits, but doesn't do any damage. Gwahir comes back with the talons right off the bat. Wounds for 4 damage. Let me cue up our battle music, man. I'm sleeping on the job. Wait for it. All right, we're setting the mood. Picture this fight how you want, guys. I'm just giving you the broad strokes here, okay? Let's get back to it. Whose turn is it? It is Elrohir's initiative. What does he do? Another bow attack. Smart to use the bow as his best shot, but not a lot of damage here. Pretty much tied through 3 rounds. Let's speed it up. Okay, going back and forth a little bit. Not damaging, missing mostly, not engaging. Back and forth they go through 10 rounds. Another wound with the talons. Actually, no, he used the Wind Lord's Cry, his ranged attack.
There's Gwahir.
Yes. Bow strike, no damage. Another strike by Gwahir. Okay, advantage for the Great Eagle through 15 rounds. Another wound, a big one by Gwahir, and Chucky's prediction is proving true indeed. Okay, let's see if the half-elven non-emo twin can get back in it. He tries, he misses. Gwahir misses. Elrohir misses. Back and forth they go. Oh, a slight wound, nicked a wing or something like that. Some feathers are dropping for Elrohir. Still got a chance. He's not out of the fight. Another wound by Gwahir. He's slain.
Yep.
Not particularly close. The Great Eagle wins.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Exactly. Dude, you called it. Pretty much spot on.
Yep.
Great Eagles are tanks, man. Technically, that's an upset, 6 against 5, but, you know, fairly even one, and it broke down pretty much the way we expected.
Yep. Well, maybe expected it a little closer, but...
True, yeah. Eagles are fun, man. I think just some of the most underrated characters, and when you see them... I recently did a rewatch of the Hobbit movies. I'm not sure if you were still on the stream when I was kind of talking about...
Yeah, I was.
Dude, those movies are just a little bit better than I remember them being, quite honestly. Like, I think I was being a little harsh the first time around. I did a rewatch, and the third one just goes on, and you know, it's kind of eh. A lot of antics and thin on story, but dude, overall the Eagles were super cool, and the dwarves are a little small in that movie, and the Eagles are just giant. So
yeah,
kind of cool. Who is our next? Ooh, we got a juicy one coming up here. Our next fight is. Let me go. We'll go back to the bracket right quick. No, not this. What are we doing here? We are stopping this screen. That's what we're doing, and we're sharing this screen. Cool. So we got our bracket back up. So if we go up here, by the way, winner of that last fight, just before we progress here, will take on Quick Beam in the next round. So Gwahir advances to take on Quick Beam, who got the bye as the 4 seed there. So Bolg against Legolas, 7 against 8. The winner will get Galadriel. So interesting area of the bracket there. Let me get back to the character cards here. So what is going on with Bolgily Bolg? Who is Bolg, you might ask? Another character, I mean, he was in the Hobbit movie, Peter Jackson Hobbit movie. He was not in the older cartoon, which my kids just love. The music just can't be beat. It's awesome. Bolg was the captain of the orcs at the Battle of the Five Armies. Azog did not fight in the events of the Hobbit like he did in the movies, right? The pale orc, I think we said last night, they put him in the movies. Really, it was Bolg, though, leading the Wogs, who were de-emphasized also in the movies. It was really a war, like orcish cavalry attack, mostly in the Battle of the Five Armies, which was kind of cool. Bolg is not a warg rider in this event. He's a foot soldier. Orcs, just generally speaking, are good with ferocity and decent with agility. So the crux of their offensive attack is ferocity and agility. What do these things do? I think it's important just to touch on this. Ferocity is your ability to press the attack in battle. It's going to determine 1/3 of your damage dealt in the damage phase of the battle, right? And then agility is your ability to maneuver into striking position. You have to, like we said with Guahir, you have to engage to hit someone, right? And orcs are good at engaging. And then if they can score a hit, which is middle ground, then they're pretty good with the ferocity of dealing damage, right? So that's the short and sweet of it. All right, so we've got Bolg. Key victories. He slew Gandalf somehow. He slew the Balrog somehow, the Witch King, and Quickbeam. So again, no slouch here. He's 25-27, a medium record, technically, a losing record. He's an 8 seed because he lost to Pippin, and to Sam, and to Bard, and to Imrahil. So, let me cue up the fight. What do you think about Bolg in this one, Chucky? Doomed?
Yeah, sorry, I think he has a chance. I don't know. You never know with orcs.
Yeah. They are kind of wild cards, that's true. Bolg against Legolas.
Legolas probably, though. I mean...
Yeah.
With his bow skill.
Let's show him. Oh, the old Prince of Mirkwood here, hey? He's got some new artwork this year. Last year we had him with the daggers out. We'll bring that back from fight to fight if it becomes relevant. But yeah,
no,
so obviously
I like the bow. I like the new art.
I mean, that's him, and you kind of have to. I like this version too. Again, I would say this guy underperformed in the regular season. I was shocked when he came out of the grinder with a 25-27 record. I had to make him a 7 seed.
Yeah.
He got whacked by Merry, Gorbag, Theoden, and Balin. Only a couple of those are really truly bad losses, I guess you'd say. But he also lost 27 sort of mediocre fights. He did slay the Balrog. He also slew Quickbeam. So weirdly, like Bolg in the two of the same dudes that they took out, right? So he also took out Elrond and Tyrdan. So some heavy hitters. He's really going for his ranged attack here, though. That's what's happening with Legolas. Look, 90 accuracy. He doesn't miss. And when he hits, his piercing is 80. Like, it does damage, right? So he's going to have a good shot against non-armored characters. And let's see Bolg's armor real fast. 52, so not good. He does have decent dexterity, 63 to dodge range attacks or to deflect those. Excuse me.
Yeah.
To dodge them is his dexterity. To deflect them, not good, 55. So I like Legolas in this one too.
Yeah. I think it'll be quick. He'll put a couple arrows through him, and that'll be that, eh?
All right. Yeah, sounds about right. Without further ado, Chucky, bring it to me.
Let us fight!
All right, the second fight of the night, Bolg against Legolas. Let us fight. First attack goes to Legolas with the bow. Hits but does not penetrate. Story of my life. Bolg comes back with his goblin sight. Cannot engage the wily elf. Back and forth they go. Ooh, Legolas forced to use his elven long blades. Can't engage. Shoots again, misses. Bolg can't engage. A hit by Legolas with the Galadriel bow. First blood drowned by the elf. Advantage Legolas through 7 rounds. Bolg comes back. Hits wounds and dies. Takes a slight lead, in fact, with the goblin sight. Okay, Legolas has been put on upset alert. By 1 seed. Legolas comes back. Tink! Off the armor. A little bit of damage. Bold can't engage. Legolas hits, can't wound. Bold engages, can't hit. Another wound by Legolas isn't enough! Slain! Shot Bold through the eye! And he has now been slain.
Through the eyeball, eh?
In my mind. What say you?
Yeah, probably.
So yeah,
Probably.
dude, you're calling these fights spot on so far, Chucky.
I have a Palantir.
You must have the Palantir. Excellently done, foul one. Yeah, so, dude, 13 round quasi beat down. Look, Bold, to his credit, he got a couple shots in.
Yeah, he did okay, but as expected. As expected. I have a friend here. That was his first fight that he has ever witnessed, and so...
Welcome to the madness.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's cool, man.
Yeah, dude, fill out a bracket if you can. MiddleEarthMadness.com. Get in on the action. It's free. We're kicking it off in all the nerdy style points that we can muster, man.
Absolutely. He's doing it right now.
Oh, nicely done. There you go. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of not counting these first play-in rounds, and I just want to leave the bracket open to as many people as we can, and not to get into all the complications. But we got a late start, so we're playing catch up, and we're still taking open bracket sign-ups. So anyone watching, get after it. Let's go. What's our next fight here? We've got. Let's bring the bracket back up. Next fight is Dane against the Barrow White.
That should be interesting.
The winner gets Aragorn, the 4th seed in the bottom region of this bracket. Yeah, so Dane, you know, I can use this for the screen share as well if we want. It's not as easy to see on your screen though, is it? If I do this.
Yeah, not quite as easy.
No worries. Yeah. Anyway, key victories
just
for
your information there. Sorry, I'm telling Alex how to enter his bracket. Sorry.
All good, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You just log in right there, and then it'll take you to it. It's easy enough.
Yeah.
They're still working on it, trying to get it. You know, it's in the first stages here, but yeah, we're on it.
Cool.
This is cool.
So Dane Ironfoot.
Super cool.
Here's another guy. He was kind of in the Peter Jackson movies at the end. I think he rode out on a pig or something like that, or a warthog, right?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
That was a little weird. Yeah. And it's at this point, I think every studio is committed to dwarves somehow being Scottish. So I don't know why dwarves have to be Scottish, but they all show up. They all show up like Braveheart or like Yamish and Braveheart, and they want to throw kegs over 30-foot walls in kilts.
Yeah.
But that was Dane, right? He shows up on his pig and he has his warhammer and he's ready to rock. I actually love this character though. In the books and the movies, he's one of the like hard-ass true old school dwarves. And I really don't get the sense at all, despite the fact that after Thorin's death, he inherits the kingdom of Erebor, and he does in fact become king under the mountain. And he's still king of under the mountain during the events of the War of the Ring. But I don't ever get the impression that he gives two shits about treasure or anything, man. He just wants to fight, right? And I think he kind of lost his purpose after in the times of peace, right? He's just like, I've got all this treasure, and I don't know what to do with it besides wipe my own ass. And so he's like bored sitting in his mountain because the dude just wants to fight. And so he's a hard dude, right? 27-25 record, that's mediocre. 6 seed, mediocre. But look who he beat. He slew Gandalf. He slew Shelob. He slew Elrond and the Watcher in the Water. So heavy hitters, we know he's capable of it. Not too many bad losses either. That's the thing about dwarves, though. They're tanks on defense. Dwarvish armor, tough to hit. 82 valor, 84 toughness. Not good with the elusiveness. You know, dodging blows is for the weak if you're a dwarf of Erebor. You just take the blows, right? It's part of the fun. 88 armor, all right? So this guy can take a lot of heat, and he's good to go. So that's Dane. Who's he fighting? He's fighting the Barrow White. Again, a guy that didn't make the movies, although I kind of like how Peter Jackson added an element of the Barrow White to the Dead Marshes scene. He kind of harnessed the at least kind of the spirit of what the Barrow Whites were with those dead things in the water that light their own candles. Remember, Smeagol has to pull Frodo out of the Dead Marshes. Kind of a cool scene. However, in the books, they encountered the Barrow White up in the Barrow Downs in the northern part of Eriador. What is that? Between the Old Forest and the village of Bree. So after they hang out with Tom Bombadil, they're working their way across the Barrow Downs in the northwest of the map. And when I say they, it's the four hobbits still: Merry, Pippin, Frodo, Sam. They haven't met Strider yet, and they come upon these standing stones on hills, and mist closes in around them. And it's basically in the middle of the day, they lose all sense of time, and they become just witless, kind of like Frodo did in that scene. Again, Jackson did okay capturing the essence of what that scene was, but they get sucked basically into graves and find themselves, just laying with swords over their chest like dead corpses, with this creature that you see on your screen right now looming over them. And it's some sorcery of the Witch King is what it is that made this sort of undead spirit lurk still within the standing stones of the Barrow Downs, where this huge battle went on during the days of Arnor, when they were clashing with the kingdom of the Witch King of Angmar. So you have Angmar against Arnor. So Númenórean, men and some elves. Ultimately, Glorfindel participated in those wars, but they did not win those wars. The Witch King did. And so Angmar was victorious, and they annihilated Arnor, leaving only, wreckage like you see at Fornost, and you see it, you don't see it at Fornost, but the capital is this sacked city that sort of looks a little bit like Weathertop. And Amon Sul, the Númenórean watchtower that they had up there on Weathertop, that used to be, one of their key outposts during these wars that created the Barrow White. So that's a little lore behind the scenes for the Barrow White. So that should be an interesting fight there. I mean, we try to make him interesting, or else we're doing it wrong, right? I'm just going to load this in the battle engine. Who do we got here? We got the Barrow White. There he is. And the Barrow White sort of overperformed in the round robin, by the way. We weren't expecting him to earn this high seed that he's got. Excuse me. But he ended up deserving it. So let us know in the comments who you got in this fight, or let us know who you picked in your bracket. By the way, if you're just joining us, go to MiddleEarthMadness.com. Not too late to fill out a bracket, so get your bracket in on the action, man. It's super fun. We built this tool. We hope you guys like it. Rolling it out for free this year, so make a bracket. It's part of March, right? Especially if you don't like basketball, you're not doing the whole March Madness thing. Do it this way with Tolkien. Even better. All right, so Dane against the Barrow White. Let's cue this puppy up. I lost my sidekicks. We must have connection issues down in Houston, Texas, but I shall fight on. All right, so without further ado, we are ready to rock here. The battle engine is primed, and we have for your viewing pleasure the Barrow White against Dane Ironfoot. Let us fight! All right. right, third age throwdown. Third fight of the night. Dane Ironfoot against the Battle White. Some say Dane, actually. I was told the other day I was pronouncing that wrong. In any case, we got a fight going on. Let's go. First attack is to the Battle White. He misses with his undead claws. Dane comes back with the red axe of Erebor. Fails to engage. Back and forth they go. Wily ones failing to engage. A hit but no wounds. Back and forth through 10 rounds. No damage yet. Who shall draw first blood? The dwarf! A slight smite, drawing 40 damage. And Dane has the lead through 15 rounds. The Battle White hits, tinks off the armor. Dwarvish armor, it's a real thing. A wound by the dwarf again. Slight one, tink, off the, I don't know, phantom armor? Not really. More or less just goes through him, doesn't it? Back and forth they go through 20 rounds. The Battle White uses his ranged attack with the Death Fog, but does no damage. Back and forth they go. The Battle White hits, does no wound. All right, Dane can't engage. Another wound by Dane isn't enough. Slay! A flawless victory by Dane Ironfoot, who was not messing around. And there you have it. So where are we at with the bracket? Wow. Dane's moving on. Who does he get next? He gets... Dane shall advance to fight Aragorn in the next round. That'll be a sweet one, man. That'll be a throwdown in every sense. Cool. So we are off and running tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just take a quick pause to say, subscribe. What do I mean by subscribe? Everyone's asking you to subscribe to stuff nowadays, but really you should. And here's why. In my self-interested opinion, we got a newsletter now, and it's pretty badass. It's going to give you a full breakdown, deep dive on all these stats. It's going to help you fill out future brackets, get more familiar with these characters, right? And we really do. We do deep lore dives, like you're seeing on these streams, into characters, and so it's going to be super helpful. It's actually kind of a cheat code for filling out your bracket. Gives you might say an unfair advantage to subscribers, but hey, if you think it's not fair, you yourself should be a subscriber, right? So cry me a river and subscribe. There's your little violin from the maestro coming at you here. No, but some cool content. Also, the main reason to subscribe is to get free entries in these upcoming tournaments. Unfortunately, after this one, they're not going to be free to play. Why? Because we want to provide payouts to our winners. So, I mean, part of the fun of a bracket contest, whether it's March Madness or Middle Earth Madness, is gunning for a payout and a good competition, right? You put your bracket up against all your buddies' brackets, you have some action, and at the end of the day, the best bracket wins. So that's what we want to do, certainly in that next tournament. This one's for free, of course. This is just no payouts, all free, all good. But in the future, make sure you subscribe. MiddleEarthMadness.com, subscribe tab or sign up tab in the upper right will get you there. And now, let us resume the fights. Who do we have next? We've got last fight of the night, Landroval against Faramir. So another great eagle. We already saw one earlier tonight with Gwahir. Gwahir's little bro, Landroval, will be squaring off against Faramir, Boromir's little bro. So the two little bros in this fight. That was not intentional, but that's what you get here. Some coincidences here in Middle Earth. The two little bros fighting each other. And the winner will advance to take on Elrond, our 3 seed, at the very bottom of the bracket. So that should be good stuff right there. A quick look at the battle stats and the cards here. Landroval, like I mentioned, another one of the great eagles, right? Maybe if Gwahir was the one that plucked Frodo off Mount Doom, then it must have been Landroval that got Sam, right? Bailed him out. And of course, they bail out characters time and again throughout these stories. but really, this race descends from a divine or quasi-divine race of old, going back to the first age in Valinor. So the land of the angels, kind of like heaven, Tolkien's heaven, his resting spot of all souls, except for men. Men don't, to my knowledge, go to the halls of Mandos in Valinor. They have a fate apart. God, also known as Ilúvatar, has his own designs for heaven that elves or dwarves are. No one knows but God himself. The Valar don't even know what happens to men when they die. It's called the gift of Ilúvatar, and I love how Tolkien talks about that. He talks about it as a gift, and men knew that their mortality was a gift until Morgoth and Sauron poisoned the concept of death in the mind of men, and it made them jealous of the elves' immortality. Such a cool concept in the Silmarillion. One of many reasons to read the Silmarillion. It gets a bad rap for not being a fully fledged story, and it's not. It's a history, right? But it's a kick-ass history, and you got to read it because of little storylines like this. What is immortality and what is mortality? Well, we should all view our human mortality as a gift because we do enjoy a fate apart. And the elves, well, they should be jealous of us, goddammit, right? So it's a cool twist on the whole, jealousy that sets in motion all these very human events in the story. I digress. I'm just talking about Landroval being of divine race. What is divine race? Well, it goes back to Valinor. And these were basically the spies and servants of Manwë, the angel or demigod of air and storm and sky. And so, it's fitting that the Wind Lord and his little brother would be servants of Manwë. So how'd Landroval do in our quote-unquote regular season? Average. He's a 7th seed for a reason. He did take out Treebeard. He took out Shelob, Elrond, and Smaug. All right, so again, Eagles are offensive tanks. I said so before with Gwaihir. Same with Landroval. He's not quite as beastly as Gwaihir, but he's strong in all the areas that Gwaihir is strong because he's, closely related. Why is he a 7 seed and why did he lose 27 fights? Because Eagles have no defense, basically. They're very elusive, 92 elusiveness you see there in the bottom right on defensive stats, but no armor, mediocre spirit. He has a divine race, so he has some spirit, defensive, magical defense, basically. They can dodge and deflect attacks pretty well, because again, they fly, right? That's their gift, that's their strength. But valor, their valor and their toughness isn't really there. So if they get hit, they're going to get wounded. That's Landroval. Who's he fighting? He's fighting Faramir, son of Denethor, Ranger of Ithilien. He's the younger brother of Boromir, the smarter one, but not the stronger one physically, right? So Boromir got all the brawn, Faramir got the brains, and then you have the scene that's very well executed, actually, true to the books, true to the lore, where Denethor does not like his son Faramir as much as Boromir. Boromir was definitely the favorite son, and Boromir was the one, selected to go to the council of Elrond. Interestingly, though, and keep me honest on this in the comments, I think Denethor did originally want to send Faramir to the council of Elrond. Someone correct me in the chat if that's wrong, but I think he originally did, and then Boromir kind of insisted on going instead. At any rate, if I'm wrong about that, what I do know is Boromir was definitely the favorite son and got the favorite treatment, and Faramir in that just horrific scene from the movie, such a great scene in the Return of the King. Boromir pretty much said as he's biting his nasty tomatoes. Made to look like blood. He's just like, okay, go die, Faramir, and don't even come back if you don't win. It's like, yeah, the guy's been staring into a palantir and having his mind poisoned by Sauron, I guess, but still no excuse for that sort of behavior. It's pretty brutal. A really cool scene in the movie. Anyway, Faramir is a ranger of Gondor. He's no slouch. And right there under key victories, you can see why. Look at, dude. This is actually better than I thought. He took out 1 seed Sauron, 1 seed Gandalf, 1 seed Durin's Bane, the Balrog of Moria, and 3 seed Glorfindel. He can tangle with anyone, right? So why is he an 8 seed? Why did he lose 27 fights? Well, I don't have any good reason for that other than variability. And, look, he's not super powered up on offense or defense. But he's not bad at anything. That's the thing that makes Faramir probably the most well-rounded character we got going, honestly. He can do a little bit of everything except magic, right? So magic and spirit, that would be his one undeniable weakness. 22 magic, you got nothing. A little bit of Númenórean blood, very distant from their true magical power back in the day, but it gives him something, right? 22 is better than 0. 30 on the spirit side, the defensive corollary of his defense against magical attacks, basically. And it's part of the formula for his overall defense is his spirit. Not going to help him much. It's 30, right? He's got meh armor, decent elusiveness, decent toughness, really, really good valor. So he, again, overall in the calculus, he's no slouch on defense, same on offense, right? Decent ferocity, good stamina, good agility. Not great sword attack with the striking, but he's got a bow attack that's pretty fell. He's got 80 accuracy. I mean, he's not going to miss with that. The thing is, if he hits, 69 piercing is only decent, right? So, should be a cool fight here. A little drink of water, and let's queue up this fight. Battle engine activated. Characters not selected. That's a problem. Selecting characters. Faramir against Landroval. All right, guys, we are ready to rock. Last fight of the night. So I lost my moral support, so I will queue up the line. Let us fight! All right, third age throwdown, baby. Third night of action. Fourth fight of the third night. We have Faramir against Landroval. Let us fight. First attack to Faramir with the Sword of Gondor, but he cannot engage the Flying Eagle. It's a tough thing to do, by the way, engaging eagles. Oh, who's coming back? Oh, sorry, I thought Chucky was coming back. Nope, the fight continues. Let's see what Landroval can do. Ah, the great talons miss. And they're going back and forth. A hit by Faramir, no damage. Back and forth they go. Two pretty elusive characters that are tough to hit. Oh! Faramir draws first blood with his blade, but only a minor wound, 3 damage. Landroval, nope. Back and forth they go through 10 rounds. Slight advantage to Faramir. What can Landroval do? Not much, as it turns out. They're both tough to hit. Oh, a blow by Faramir. No damage. Landroval attacks, misses. They can't engage. Each one pretty elusive. Who shall draw the next blow? Through 23 rounds. Slight advantage to Faramir. They're basically even, though. A blow by Landroval with the talons! A gaping slash! Faramir is hemorrhaging blood. Yes. It gets pretty gory here, guys, and that's an example. Nasty one. Okay, heavy advantage to Landroval through 25 rounds. Oh, Faramir comes back. Doesn't quite even the fight, but that helps him. No one's out of the fight yet. Who shall make it best? Landroval's attack misses. Faramir misses. Landroval misses. Faramir can't engage. Landroval hits. Wounds. Another one. Slay. And the Great Eagle wins. Woo! Well, there you have it. 30-round fight, pretty good one. Faramir held his own, but at the end of the day, like I said, those great Eagles, dude, they're tanks on offense. You can't get hit by them too many times, and in this case, 3 times was too many times. Three blows, heavily hewn the first time, and then another moderate. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Faramir's second attack. So no, two was all it really took for Landroval. A heavily hewn one, took 70 damage in that first one, and then finished him off with 50 more at the end. Landroval wins. So let's take a look at the bracket here one last time. What do we got? Bracket. So Landroval will advance in our bracket to take on Elrond in the second round. Should be a good one there, too. So, yeah, quick recap. Tonight, as we just said, Landroval won to advance and take on Elrond. Dane won, and he'll advance to take on Aragorn. Up here, Legolas won, and he will advance to take on Galadriel. And lastly, in our first fight, Gwaihir won pretty easily, and he'll advance to take on Quickbeam in the second round. So it sets up some nice fights already in that second round. Thanks for joining us tonight. My cohorts dropped early. We had some connection issues down there in Houston. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Let me just roll credits here. Here's our form of rolling credits. Oh, man, it's promos. More promos. Yeah, I suck at the social media thing, not going to lie. So it's all that stuff I'm supposed to say that everyone says now. The influencer stuff. But in all seriousness, we'd love your support, man. We need your support if we're going to build our next cool idea, which is, spoiler alert, Fantasy League. Middle-earth Fantasy League. You draft characters. You build a roster. You fight your buddies' roster in fights with this battle engine weekly, and then you try to win your fantasy league. You can make trades. You can do the whole thing. It's going to be kick-ass. We need money to pay devs to build this tool for us. How do we get money? With your kindness and your support, right? So if you want to support, go to middleearthmadness.com. Right there in the upper right of your screen, there you see the sign-up tab. You'll be taken to a couple different options. Very deliberate numbering. $3.79 is our basic package. $3.79 a month. Pretty affordable. It gives you really everything you need. One free bracket entry into every main event tournament that we do. So you don't have to pay for your brackets when you do tournaments, at least your first one. If you want to do additional ones, of course, you know, and up your odds, basically, you're free to do that. Prices are going to vary per tournament, but usually extra entries are going to be about $5. Okay, so if you subscribe, quick maths, you go 2 months and you've paid for 2 entries in that tournament, right? So it's worth it. Plus, you get a free subscription to our newsletter, which I'll demo for you here in the next stream. It's deep dives into characters. We got lore in there. We got battle engine stats, and it's not just dry math that we grind on in there. We actually explain how these stats work in the battle engine, and give you some useful tips on how to dominate your next bracket. And so we preview upcoming characters. We consider new characters that we're kind of developing, and then you also have the ability to give us your feedback and sort of shape the narrative and shape what priorities we are executing on our side. So yeah, please go support us. Follow us on all your favorite social platforms. We're on all of them. Go to the website, hit up our link tree. At the bottom of every page of the website, including the homepage, has all our social links. So whatever your platform of choice is, platforms you hang out on, we're there too. Give us a follow. I will try to be better about social media. No promises, or maybe a revocable promise. It's just a matter of time, honestly. I want to be better on TikTok and make TikTok content because that's where most people are now. I'll try to be better about that. Anyways, thanks for logging in. Thanks for joining us, everyone. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, appreciate you. I've already said all the promotional stuff, so I will close with the words of Tolkien, as we always do. And as Professor Tolkien himself said, you cannot come to the morning light except through the darkness. And where there is light, there is always hope. You are never out of the fight.